The war in Ukraine is raging. The Western powers have taken an explicit stand, but there are other nations that seem to be taking their stance much more discreetly. A media report has recently claimed that the Chinese companies have been supplying military equipment to Russia. Reports also claim that China's North Industries Group Limited is one of the country's largest state-owned defense contractors, and it has sent assault rifles since June 2022 to a Russian company called Techrim. This is the company that does business with the Russian state and its military. Military reports also show that these CQA rifles are dubbed as civilian hunting rifles. However, from China to Philippines to South Sudan and Paraguay, they are being used by forces as well. Now, according to data that's been retrieved by some media sources, Russia reportedly has received about 12 shipments of drone parts by Chinese companies and over 12 tons of Chinese body armor. These weapons were routed into Moscow through Turkey. Another Chinese company, DJI, has also reportedly supplied drone parts such as batteries and cameras via United Arab Emirates to a small Russian distributor. And this happened in November and December 2022. Now, this is the same company that has been under US Treasury sanctions since 2021 for providing drones to Chinese state for surveillance in the western region of Xinjiang. The United States accuses China of human rights violations against the Uyghur minority Muslims in the Xinjiang province. Although one does not at this point of time know whether these assault rifles supplied are actually being used by the Russians in the war. The DJI drones have repeatedly been spotted on the battlefield for several months now. The Russian state defense company has also imported other items such as microchips, thermal vision devices and spare parts like gas turbine engine from countries such as China, Serbia and Myanmar since 2022. While the amount of weapons supplied to Russia is not huge, the bigger point here is that weapons are supplied, and some of these weapons could be dual-use equipment, which means that these are essentially commercial items such as drones or even microchips that are in fact making their way onto the battlefield in Ukraine. And experts say that it is difficult to track the use of these items, and this could mean that at this point of time we just do not know the scale of Beijing's involvement in helping Moscow in the Ukrainian battlefield. The reports have come at a time when the United States and Europe have been warning Beijing against aiding Russia's efforts in the war. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz earlier said that there will be consequences if China were to send weapons to Russia. Western powers believe that such a move could actually alter the equation on the ground. It could shift the balance of power, especially at a time when Moscow is in desperate need of weapon supplies, although the Americans and the Western nations have been saying that Russia could run out of its ammunition, but that clearly has not happened on the battlefield. Meanwhile, China continues to deny the allegations that it is aiding Russia with weapons. President Xi Jinping will be visiting Moscow this coming week, and Beijing, remember, has also proposed a 12-point peace proposal for the war in Ukraine. It was criticized by the Western powers because it did not lay down any details about the need for a withdrawal of Russian troops. But the question is this: will peace even have a chance at a time when the allies of Ukraine and the allies of Russia continue to arm both these nations?